since we're on the topic of T-Mobile, I ran across OpenSignal's January 2020 report on 5G user experience. And according to that report, T-Mobile is cooking with gas, and they have a significant lead over both Verizon and AT&T in both 5G performance and coverage in the United States. And it's I will say that it is important to note here that based on our conversation earlier about C-band coverage and that's at airports and that sort of thing provided by AT&T and Verizon, T-Mobile isn't playing in that space, and the C-band deployments by those companies could impact this report moving forward. But for now, things look really great on the T-Mobile front. And I think that, what I looked at is that T-Mobile has won in the 5G download speed for the fifth time in a row, going from an average of 118.7 Mbps to 150. That's pretty impressive, right? And that's what everybody wants. Speed, speed and more of it. And in upload speeds, T-Mobile was also ahead of the pack at 17.9, although Verizon was creeping right along at 14.1. And so there were some other key metrics mentioned in the report. I will include that as part of our show notes here. But basically, T-Mobile is doing a terrific job as it relates to great user experiences and speeds and that sort of thing. Ron, did you get a chance to look at that report by any chance?
Oh yeah, I think it definitely demonstrates that T-Mobile has been very adept at executing its 5G strategy, certainly a nationwide
Right,
one here in the U.S. And
right.
clearly, the speed tests show that they definitely made some of the right bets in terms of their spectrum priorities, and I think that came across in the recent C-band auctions. And
Right.
I think it's also tying in with other initiatives that are also critically important to the success of T-Mobile or any mobile operator, let alone the overall 5G ecosystem. Specifically, speaking of having marketing momentum, T-Mobile announced that they fulfilled the renewable energy goals, the RE100 objective, and that is the entire 5G operations are now being run on renewable energy.
Yeah.
And that includes agreements with 19 retailers, 8 virtual power agreements, and so forth. And so the net result is that there are now 3.4 megawatt hours. So now we have to talk megawatt hours more and more, and
Right,
in addition to megahertz and
right,
megabits and so forth.
right.
But again, 3.4 megawatt hours. That includes green energy grids across states like Maine and Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, and Oregon. And as a result, T-Mobile has landed the Green America Wireless Scoreboard top score amongst mobile operators. So this is clearly a feather in the cap that they're
Right.
really combining the best of both worlds, delivering on the one hand the best performance and speeds, but also doing it in a very energy conscious way that is definitely executing on the sustainability goals that are so important and are integral to any organization's ESG
Right.
goals. So this is, I think, welcome news. The fact that T-Mobile is executing on these two vital fronts.
Yeah, and it would be prudent of me to mention here, I think, as we're on the topic of sustainability and ESG initiatives, our team here at Futurum is really passionate about all things ESG and actually DEI as well. And we believe that we have companies of all sizes who have planted a flag, especially in either one of these spaces, as it relates to DEI initiatives, as it relates to ESG initiatives. We believe specific to ESG that this is going to become increasingly important as time goes by. And just as, we saw organizations embrace digital transformation journeys and initiatives, right? Some more rapidly than others. But, all of a sudden we went from a space where, our team was actually working with clients on digital transformation initiatives and journeys before the term digital transformation was even, coined and widely used. So we've been kind of elbows deep in that space. But we think that ESG is going to be increasingly important, as important by comparison as digital transformation focuses are, because, you know, this is the path forward. This is what consumers care about, and the challenge here for organizations is that we've had so many companies plant their flag. I mentioned this already. Plant their flag, and that, you know, by 2025 or 2030 we'll be here, or 2040. And now what they're doing is saying, "Oh, holy, okay, well, we've said this. How are we going to get there, or how are we going to measure this meaningfully?" And, you know, so there are some really interesting times ahead as it relates to that. We have a new media property launching here in about a week called Good Equals Progress, which is focused on all things ESG and DEI. So we will invite you to be a part of that launch with us as that property launches. But know that we're going to be talking about that quite a bit moving forward. And good on you, T-Mobile, for for your efforts in the sustainability race. That's awesome. That's awesome news.